On the home front, 19 years have passed since tragedy struck on 9/11/2001. The Twin Towers, the Pentagon, Somerset, Pennsylvania. Successive acts of terror at those three locations certainly changed the United States and the world. Who would have thought that back then, that nearly 2 decades later, American troops would still be in Afghanistan? Or that first responders, those we looked to for help on 9/11, firemen and police, would be disrespected and disparaged? Well, joining us to share some thoughts is 31-year law enforcement veteran, retired Police Sergeant Mike McGrew. Sergeant McGrew is co-founder of 9/11 at Ease International. So, Sergeant McGrew, good to see you again. 60 police officers died on that tragic day, 9/11. They were from New Jersey, the Port Authority, and NYPD. And at that time, we kind of regarded them and the 343 firefighters who perished at the Twin Towers as American heroes. So fast forward, 2020. Now we have the defund movement, disrespect for police. So far, at least 188 line-of-duty deaths. Why the change since 9/11/2001?
I think we're in a very difficult time right now, and I don't think that anybody really saw this coming. You know, it's a time where the first responders that are doing a difficult job are even pressed even further. They're getting stretched very thin right now. They're still out doing amazing work. For 31 years as a law enforcement officer, I retired as a sergeant out in California. And I was able to work with the most courageous and just amazing people of character throughout my career, and I saw them do heroic acts. And 9/11 is just a reminder of the heroic acts that our first responders continue to do today. They're still willing to do exactly what they did on that day, to go in and put themselves in harm's way and possibly lose their life.
Many of us have heard testimonies from police officers who say they're quitting. They don't want their sons or daughters to even consider becoming a member of the police force. And that's coming from families who have served for generations. So what are you hearing from officers, and have you ever seen morale this bad?
I have not. This is about the worst I've ever seen it. I came in 35 years ago when the senior officers were Vietnam veterans who I think paid the price in post-traumatic stress injuries, and there was a culture then that the job was difficult. We were getting a paycheck, but go out and suck it up. And so we did. And being a police officer has been something that, you know, there's always 10%, I think, of the population who would just come right out and say, hey, we don't like you because you're a police officer. Right now, you're hearing a lot of loud voices. You're seeing on the media some pretty negative things that are happening. But people need to remember that the folks that are doing this job are continuing to do amazing work out there. There's tens of thousands of acts, heroic acts that happen every day that aren't covered in the media. And this job is a calling. You don't get into this job because you think you're going to get rich or be well off. It's a job that requires somebody who has a servant's heart. And that's who we're looking for when we recruit a police officer, somebody who has integrity, somebody who is willing to go out and do the tough things that nobody else is willing to do.
So then do you think we'll see a backlash against all of this that's happening, this defund police movement? And will police regain that respect that most deserve? What happens now? What needs to happen?
Well, this is a time where communication is very important. And when people talk about defunding police departments, I don't think they really understand what they're saying, because the very programs that help law enforcement bridge the gap with their communities are things such as beat coordinators, school resource officers, public relation officers, public information officers. Those are the people that are helping to carry on a conversation that says, hey, this is why we have to do certain things in certain situations. And it develops a trust, and there's a partnership that happens. And to defund a department, those are the things that would be removed first, because people have to go out and answer 911 calls. They have to answer emergency calls for services. And if you don't have enough officers, then the programs that are vital are going to be removed. And I think people are going to start to see that They're going to see the effects of what it means to not have a fully staffed police department. Hopefully, before that happens nationwide, people will be able to recognize, no, there is a need, and we do need to work with our law enforcement, and they are a profession that just has a lot of people of just incredible integrity doing the job.
Okay, putting their lives on the line every day, Sergeant Mike McGrew, co-founder of 911 at Ease International. Thank you for your time and insights, Mike.
Thank you.